If you don't learn how to control your thoughts will quietly control your entire life. And the most dangerous part is you probably won't even notice it happening. Right now, as you're listening to this, there are patterns running inside your mind. Automatic thoughts, reactions, interpretations, little voices that comment on everything you do. And over time, those thoughts don't just pass through your mind, they start shaping your identity, your decisions, and ultimately your future. Most people believe their life is a result of circumstances. Where they were born, what happened to them, the opportunities they had or didn't have. But that's only part of the story, because between what happens to you and what you become, there is a filter, and that filter is your mind. Two people can go through the exact same situation and create completely different futures. One breaks, the other grows. One gives up, the other adapts. One sees failure, the other sees feedback. The difference isn't the situation, it's the meaning they assign to it. And meaning is created by thought. Your thoughts determine what you focus on. Your focus determines what you see. And what you see determines how you act. Over time, those actions become your life. So if your thoughts are constantly negative, doubtful, or self-destructive, you're not just having a bad day. You're slowly building a reality that reflects those patterns. And here's where it gets even more important. Your brain is designed to automate whatever you repeat. It doesn't judge whether something is good or bad for you. It simply strengthens whatever you practice the most. If you repeatedly think, "I'm not good enough," your brain starts treating that as a fact. If you constantly expect things to go wrong, your mind will look for proof that confirms that belief. And once that loop is established, it becomes incredibly difficult to break, unless you become aware of it. Awareness is the first level of control, because you cannot change what you do not notice. Most people are not thinking, they are reacting. A thought appears and they immediately believe it. A feeling shows up and they assume it must be true. But not every thought you have is real. Not every thought deserves your attention. Some thoughts are just noise. Some are fear trying to protect you. Some are old patterns that no longer serve you. And some are simply echoes of things you've heard in the past. The problem is, when you don't question your thoughts, you give them power. And once a thought has power, it influences your behavior. Think about how many opportunities people miss because of a single thought. "I'm not ready. What if I fail? People will judge me." In that moment, nothing external stopped them. Just a thought. And yet, that thought was enough to change their decision. And that decision changed their direction. Now imagine how many of those moments happen every single day. Your future is not built in one big decision. It's built in small, repeated choices. And those choices are influenced by what you allow to exist in your mind. This is why controlling your thoughts is not about being positive all the time. It's about being intentional. It's about deciding which thoughts deserve your energy and which ones don't. Because you don't have to control every thought that appears. That's impossible. Thoughts will come and go. But you can control which ones you follow, which ones you reinforce, and which ones you let pass. And that changes everything. The moment you realize that you are not your thoughts, you create space. And in that space, you gain power. Because instead of being pulled in every direction by whatever shows up in your mind, you begin to observe. You start noticing patterns. You start catching negative loops before they take over. You start asking better questions. And better questions lead to better thoughts. Instead of, "Why does this always happen to me?" you ask, "What can I learn from this?" Instead of, "I can't do this," you ask, "How can I figure this out?" That small shift changes the direction of your thinking. And over time, it changes your results. Your brain follows the questions you ask. So if you constantly ask disempowering questions, you will get disempowering answers. But if you train yourself to ask better questions, your mind begins to work for you instead of against you. Another powerful shift is understanding that attention is fuel. Whatever you focus on grows stronger. If you focus on problems, your mind will generate more problems. If you focus on possibilities, your mind will start looking for solutions. This doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means choosing how you engage with it. Because there's always more than one way to interpret a situation. And the interpretation you choose will determine how you feel, how you act, and what you do next. Over time, these small internal shifts compound. They build confidence. They create momentum. They change your identity. And once your identity starts to change, your behavior follows naturally. You don't need to force discipline as much when your thoughts are aligned with where you want to go. You don't need constant motivation when your mind is not constantly fighting you. That's the real advantage of mental control. It simplifies everything. Instead of trying to fix your life from the outside, you start influencing it from the inside. And that's where real change happens. But there's one more thing most people don't realize. If you don't take control of your thoughts, something else will. Your environment, social media, other people's opinions, past experiences. All of these factors are constantly feeding your mind with ideas, beliefs, and perspectives. And if you're not careful, you end up living a life that was shaped by default, not by design. That's why being intentional with your thoughts is not optional if you want to grow. It's essential. Start small. Pay attention to what you think throughout the day. Notice patterns. Notice triggers. Notice how certain thoughts affect your mood and your behavior. Then begin to interrupt the ones that don't serve you. Not by fighting them, but by questioning them. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me move forward, or is it keeping me stuck? That one question creates awareness. And awareness creates choice. And once you have choice, you have control. Over time, this practice becomes natural. You become more conscious, more intentional, more in control of your internal world. And when your internal world changes, your external world starts to follow. Because your future is not something that just happens to you. It's something you build one thought at a time. So the next time a thought appears in your mind, remember this. You don't have to believe everything you think. And the thoughts you choose to follow today are shaping the life you will live tomorrow.